One is the world's most powerful democracy. The other, an absolute monarchy built on desert sands and oil. But for nearly a century, the United States and Saudi Arabia have shared one of the world's most complex relationships, marked by oil, war, money, and secrets. Today, we take you through the entire history of the U.S.-Saudi relationship, how it started, why it matters, and where it might be heading next. This isn't just about politics. It's about how two completely different worlds back. Our story begins in 1933, in a remote desert kingdom still finding its place on the world stage. That year, King Abdulaziz, the founder of modern Saudi Arabia, granted oil exploration rights to an American company. When oil was finally discovered in 1938, it didn't just transform Saudi Arabia, it rewired global power. That company eventually became Aramco, today the most profitable company on earth. For the US, this was a golden opportunity, access to vast energy reserves just as industry. In 1945, something extraordinary happened. U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt met King Abdulaziz aboard the USS Quincy in the Suez Canal, a meeting that would become legendary. The unspoken deal was simple: oil for protection. The U.S. would guarantee the kingdom's security. In return, Saudi Arabia would ensure a stable flow of oil to the West. Think of it like a business marriage, mutual needs, not shared values. During the Cold War, Saudi Arabia became a key U.S. ally in the Middle East. While the U.S. backed Israel, causing tensions, it also poured billions into Saudi Arabia to counter Soviet influence in the region. In the 1980s, the two nations funded anti-Soviet fighters in Afghanistan. Ironically, one of those fighters was Osama bin Laden, a name that would haunt both countries decades later. Saudi oil kept flowing. American arms kept arriving. And beneath it all, mistrust quietly simmered. Then came 1973. After the U.S. supported Israel in the Yom Kippur War, Saudi Arabia led an oil embargo against the West. The result? Gas prices quadrupled. American drivers sat in endless lines. It was a wake-up call, showing just how much power OPEC and Saudi Arabia truly had, but within a few years, the U.S. and Saudi Arabia patched things up. Why? Because neither could afford to walk away. On September 11, 2001, everything changed. Of the 19 hijackers, 15 were Saudi nationals. The attack shook America to its core, and trust in Saudi Arabia plummeted, but behind the scenes? The alliance remained intact. Saudi Arabia helped in the war on terror. The U.S. kept selling weapons. Billions continued to flow in oil deals. To many Americans, it felt like a betrayal. But to policymakers, it was strategic necessity. Once again, values were pushed aside for interests. Today, the U.S.-Saudi relationship is a balancing act on a razor's edge. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS, is modernizing the kingdom with futuristic cities and social reforms. But he's also led a bloody war in Yemen and was linked to the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The U.S. condemned the killing, but kept doing business. Why? Oil still matters. Arms deals bring jobs. And Saudi Arabia remains a strategic player in a volatile region, but there's change in tea. The U.S.-Saudi relationship is no love story. It's a story of power, oil, survival, and realpolitik. As the world changes, so will this alliance. But one thing is clear: what happens between Washington and Riyadh will continue to shape the globe.